DJI built this category so completely that for years, nobody even tried to challenge them seriously. If you wanted the best pocket-sized, stabilized camera for travel, vlogging, cinematic B-roll, or solo filmmaking, the answer was automatic. You bought DJI. No debate, no real competition, just DJI dominating the space while everyone else played catch-up from a distance. But something feels different now, because the Insta360 Luna Ultra doesn't look like a company trying to make another alternative. It looks like a company that spent years studying every weakness in DJI's system and then designed an entire camera around attacking those weak points directly. And honestly, after seeing the early footage, the feature set, and the timing of this launch, this might be the first real threat DJI has faced in the compact cinema camera world. What makes this so interesting isn't just the specs, it's the strategy behind it. DJI became dominant because they understood creators before most camera brands did. Their Pocket lineup completely changed expectations for what a small camera could achieve. Smooth stabilization, reliable tracking, strong battery life, great color science, easy workflows. Everything just worked. Travel creators loved them because they removed friction from filming. You could pull the camera from your pocket, hit record, and instantly get cinematic footage without carrying a giant setup. But when companies stay on top for too long, urgency disappears. Innovation slows down. Small updates get marketed like revolutions. Features that should already exist become next-generation breakthroughs. That's usually the moment another company sees an opening, and Insta360 clearly saw one. The Luna Ultra feels less like a safe product and more like an aggressive statement, especially when you look at the timing. DJI was building hype around the Pocket 4 Pro, teasing creators, slowly feeding excitement into the market. And then suddenly, Insta360 arrived with a camera that looked designed specifically to hijack the conversation. And somehow, they succeeded. The feature that instantly changes everything isn't even the zoom lens. It's the detachable screen. That sounds simple until you realize what it actually means in real-world filming. The display physically detaches from the camera body and transforms into a wireless controller for both the camera and the gimbal system at the same time. Suddenly, shots that normally require a second person become possible for solo creators. Imagine mounting the Luna Ultra onto a car hood for a cinematic driving shot. Normally, you'd either guess your framing or rely on a complicated wireless phone setup. Here, the detached display becomes your live monitor and control system. You can sit inside the car while adjusting framing, controlling the gimbal, and triggering recording remotely. That changes workflows completely. Or think about travel vlogging. Instead of awkwardly checking a flip screen while walking through a crowded street market, you can place the camera farther away, hold the detached screen in your hand, and monitor the shot naturally in real time. The footage suddenly looks like someone else filmed it for you. That's not a gimmick, that's a real creative advantage. Then you get into the optics, and this is where things become genuinely serious. Insta360 partnered with Leica Camera for the imaging system, and you can immediately see the influence in the early footage. The image character feels different from typical smartphone-style processing. Highlights roll off more naturally. Shadows retain detail instead of collapsing into muddy blacks. Skin tones actually look human instead of overly sharpened plastic. The main camera reportedly uses a 1-inch sensor paired with an f1.8 lens, which is massive for something this compact. That sensor size matters because it directly affects low-light performance and dynamic range. Restaurants at night, city streets after sunset, indoor events, rainy environments, these are the situations where small sensors usually collapse. Bigger sensors survive them. And then there's the telephoto lens. This is probably the single biggest weakness compact gimbal cameras have struggled with for years. Most of them force creators into ultra-wide perspectives constantly. Everything looks flattened. Every shot requires standing close to your subject. You lose cinematic compression entirely. The Luna Ultra changes that with a dedicated telephoto system reportedly capable of focal lengths between roughly 70mm and 120mm equivalent. Suddenly, backgrounds compress beautifully. Portraits feel cinematic. Street scenes gain depth. City lights separate naturally behind subjects instead of blending into one giant mess of detail. That alone changes how creators shoot. Then comes the zoom system, and honestly, this is where the Luna Ultra starts feeling almost unfair for a camera this small. Reports suggest around 3.9 times optical zoom, 6 times lossless zoom, and 12 times hybrid zoom. But the important part isn't the numbers themselves, it's what they unlock creatively. You stop being forced into every scene physically. You can observe environments instead of invading them. You can shoot performances, architecture, wildlife, or street moments from a distance while still maintaining cinematic framing. For travel creators especially, that's huge. And then there's the feature that made almost everyone pause when the specs leaked: 4K at 240 frames per second. That number sounds ridiculous because, honestly, it kind of is. 240 frames per second at 4K resolution inside a stabilized pocket camera would have sounded impossible just a few years ago. But if the early hands-on footage is accurate, the Luna Ultra actually delivers it, and that changes the type of footage creators can capture entirely. Rain hitting pavement suddenly becomes cinematic texture. Athletes moving through frame feel dramatic and emotional. Water splashes, smoke, vehicles, crowds, everything transforms into visual storytelling material when slowed down that heavily. Now, combine that with the telephoto lens. Compressed cinematic slow motion from a distance inside a device that fits in your jacket pocket, that's the kind of footage social media algorithms absolutely love. But here's where this conversation needs honesty. The DJI Pocket 4 Pro is still an incredible camera. DJI's stabilization remains industry-leading. Their ecosystem is mature, their accessories work beautifully, their color science is trusted by professionals worldwide for a reason. Buying a Pocket 4 Pro is still one of the safest creator purchases you can make. But the Luna Ultra introduces something DJI hasn't really faced in years: pressure. Real pressure. Pressure to innovate faster. Pressure to rethink features creators actually want. Pressure to stop playing safe inside a category they've dominated for too long. And honestly, that's why this launch matters so much. Even if the Luna Ultra isn't perfect, even if real-world testing exposes weaknesses, even if DJI still outsells them comfortably this year. The market changed the moment this camera appeared, because for the first time in a long time, creators are no longer asking, "Should I buy DJI?" Now they're asking, "Which one should I choose?" And that single shift changes everything.